In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, and necessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian. Because the work is so important.
All right, and here we are yet again, Brian. It is Sunday night. It's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. And it is time for episode 363 of the Cult of Ron and Brian. How the hell are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. It is Sunday. I had a very nice weekend. When you love what you do, Ron, every day gives you the opportunity to live life to its fullest and to be excited and with anticipation for what life will bring you tomorrow.
That's a very positive, upbeat message to start off with. Very proud of you.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Well, then let's just get right into it. Let's roll with, of course, drink of the week.
Drink of the week.
Na zdrowie.
Salud.
Drink of the week.
Sláinte.
Prost.
Drink of the week. Drink of the week. Drink of the week.
All right, Brian, what did you bring to the table for your drink of the week this week?
This week, friends of the show, these folks have supported us from day one. The kind folks over at Sierra Nevada reached out to me and said, hey, would you be interested in sampling some of our Summerfest lager? They said, we know that Ron is all about the IPAs, but this time we have taken a shot at a lager. And I said, yes, Sierra Nevada, please send me a 2-pack. I'm looking at right here. Look at this beautiful, a yellow hue. This is a refreshing lager that's made for the blazing days of hot podcaster summer.
Oh, Matt, what the hell are you doing out here?
Hot podcaster summer.
Ron, Summerfest balances delicate yet complex malt alongside spicy floral hops. The hints of lemon zest lead into a crisp finish, and the sessionable 5% ABV will invite another round, meaning I've got a second beer in my beer fridge. This summertime beer is going to pour golden bright, just like the sun. It's going to taste delicious. Beer Advocate gives it a score of 83. I'm going to try it again and give you my score.
Let's give it a shot. I mean, I am a fan of the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I'm curious to hear how the lager is. He's perplexed. He's taken a second sip. Let's see what the verdict is.
It's definitely crushable, but
okay.
It's also more bitter than I was expecting from a lager. A lot of times lagers don't have that bitter aftertaste. This is hitting me, that what they are calling a crisp finish is there, but there's a bitterness that I was not expecting. I'm going to give this a solid 6 out of 10.
Okay. Taking a third sip, it can't be that bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be drinking both of these and then taking a nap in between the podcast and After Dark. But more importantly, Ron, please tell me, what are you drinking?
So we know about our partnership with the good friends at Pinter. I have yet another beer fresh out of the tap in my custom Pinter glass that they were kind enough to provide me with. This time, Brian, this is the Iron Maiden Trooper British beer remix for their partnership with Pinter. Malt flavors and citric notes with a unique blend of hops give this deep golden ale a subtle hint of lemon. It's got mid to low bitterness. It's got amber. It's got malt, barley, and rye. It is a 4.7% ABV. You will run to the hills because this has the number of your thirst. I'm going to take a sip, Brian. This is the very first one I've tapped from that Pinter. Let's see how it is.
Let's take a sip.
Oh, fuck, that's good.
Okay,
it's
good.
It's got a little bitterness. It's true. Not a
Yep.
lot. A little bit of bitterness. Nice taste. Nice hoppy aftertaste. I gotta say, I'll be having a second one of these with After Dark. Hold on, I gotta sip it again.
Nice. Take a deep sip. I'm just going to go on record right now, folks. I could be making Pinter my beef of the week.
Okay.
I am giving them the benefit of the doubt for another 7 days. It is possible that I come in guns a-blazing next week, all up in Pinter's business. Ron, this is your first beer of this packet?
Of the Iron Maiden Trooper, yes.
Iron Maiden, yes. All right. Just remember, when you're finished with it and you think you're done, make sure you open it. You may still have 3 or 4 beers left.
There may be some in there, yes.
Just be careful. Be careful.
Understood.
Very good. I am very glad that you're enjoying your Pinter experience.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, since you talked about it, now it's here. It's time for Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
Ooh, people who reach out to you on your birthday on LinkedIn to wish you a happy birthday.
Okay, I'm curious because this would seem to be a nice thing to do. It would seem to be a thoughtful, benevolent thing to do. But let me hear how it became a beef of the week.
This is where it comes from. It's one thing for people that you know. Friends of the show are aware. I celebrated my pinky out, Ron. I celebrated my birthday this past weekend, a special day. The world celebrated.
Yes.
The Palestinians and the Israelis put their guns down. The Ukrainians and Russians called for a day of peace, hugged and kissed all throughout the day. There was no war on my birthday.
No.
The number of people that reached out on Facebook, people that I am friends with, the phone calls, the well wishes were it was amazing. You truly realize how important you are in people's lives when they reach out to you on your birthday. Except people you have never met, people you have never spoken to, people you are avoiding because they're nothing but just salespeople trying to sell you a product.
Right.
And suddenly, all day long, and you can say, Ron, I could have turned my notifications off, but I'm not a little bitch. A little bitch would have turned off notifications. My phone was blowing up from LinkedIn notifications, from salespeople, from recruiters.
I see.
Happy birthday,
so
Brian.
Not people on LinkedIn that you actually know, just connections that are using this as an inroad to try and get some synergy going with you.
And would literally put it in the second line. Happy birthday, Brian. Would love to do business with you in the future. Just disgusting, inappropriate. It was peak sleaziness. And to waste my time on my birthday to be forced to open up your message, because the first thing I'm thinking of is, how do I know this person? And then the second or third sentence was, really looking forward to one day giving you a demo of our exciting product. It's really going to streamline your recruiting process. Just disgusting, off base. People, send your happy birthday wishes to those that you know and love, care, and respect for, not complete strangers on the internet. Really just annoyed the daylights out of me. That is my beef of the week, Ron. What is bothering you as you walk in to this episode? We're almost 10 minutes in, but I see the steam is rising off your head. You are furious and enraged. What's
Raging. So my beef this week is with the Man Music Center here in Philadelphia. We went to the Weird Al Yankovic concert last night at the Man. Now, don't get me wrong. Lovely venue. It's a amphitheater style, kind of like the PNC Bank Center, Saratoga Performing Arts Center. I could list many, many more, but I won't do that. So we go, And I think, we've mentioned the cost of concessions and things like that before. So I was drinking Kona Big Wave, 25-ounce can. How much do you
big
think
boy.
that can cost, Brian?
I'm going to say a solid $12.50.
$20. And a 25
Oh.
and a 25-ounce Michelob Ultra, $18.
Yeah, even Janelle
How
says
much? How much do you
15.
think how much do you think a slice of pizza was? Plain.
Ooh, $7.50.
$8.50.
Oh,
If you wanted a topping, $9.50. If you wanted a specialty piece like buffalo chicken, $10.50. But I think the piece
oh my
that
God.
pissed me off the most is, it's got the lawn behind the amphitheater, so people can buy
Sure.
lawn seats and it said, even before you got to the venue, please do not bring like deck chairs or beach chairs to sit on the lawn. So I'm thinking it's because they don't want, people like having to sit behind people in these beach chairs and not be able to see the stage. Oh, no. The reason they don't want you to bring your own deck chair is because they want to rent you their deck chairs when you get there.
Oh, that
Just
is
a sea of these chairs that people that probably own one at home had to shell out. I don't even know what it was. I mean, again, I'm going to go out on a limb. Had to be $20-25 if I had to put a dollar amount on it. But that just seems like such absolute bullshit. Like, I get the jacked up concession prices, but to not even be able to let people, so you're paying, it's not like the lawn seats are that much cheaper than the inside seats, and then you're paying to rent a chair after that.
I just looked it up. Janelle is correct. Those chairs, day of, just walking in there to rent a chair is $15. If you order it in advance, it's only $10. I just quickly looked that up online. That's just such a scumbag move.
Yeah,
because and it's just one of those things where it was, there as somebody who has gone from listen, I understand, I live a life that most dream of, the envy of the masses upon me.
Sure.
I've taken myself from the kind of person that would sit in the lawn to, if I don't go to enough shows anymore, that if I'm going to go, I'm going to buy a seat. I'm going to sit in the amphitheater, get a seat. I'm not doing lawn seats anymore. The number of times I've sat on the lawn where the ground is muddy from a recent rain, because all these concerts are summer, where you're just muddy and your feet are dirty, and within minutes you're sloshing and sliding. I can't fall anymore.
You can't. You're brittle. You're very brittle.
I've got two very weak hips. But the fond memories I have of showing up there with lawn seats and just, laying out with your friends. We did that in college countless times. It was fun.
We had lawn seats when we saw Sinatra at Saratoga.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I don't think my back could take sitting on a lawn for like a 2-hour concert anymore.
Not anymore. No. We were young bucks. That's absolutely correct. Once again, Brian has reached his falling limit. I can't fall anymore. I'm scared to death of it. But Ron, that is 100% legitimate beef.
Thank you. Great concert, though. I will say that much. Puddle's Pity Party opened. Great. And you know what I loved about the concert primarily is how on time it was. So concert was supposed to start at 7:30. Actually started at 7:28. When have you ever gone to a concert that starts a couple minutes early? So Puddles performs for like 40 minutes. So he gets off stage at like 8:10. We walk up, we hit the bathrooms, we walk back down. Like literally by 8:30, Weird Al's coming out. It's just a 20-minute break in between sets, and he's out there playing. Like perfect. We were home by 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. At 54,
beautiful.
I'm loving that.
Yes, that's beautiful. But you did not go to see. I'm surprised you went to Weird Al instead of going to the Wells Fargo Center to see Wu-Tang Clan.
Well, Weird Al's more my speed, I guess you could say.
Really? Is that because you do not like seeing African Americans on stage, Ron? You feel that
No,
they
it's,
should be on the
I've
back of
been a
the
Weird
arena?
Al fan since his early days.
Well, it is because you're weird. I mean, we know that.
Since I was a young boy listening to Dr. Demento on Pix 106 in Albany, New York.
Jesus Christ, you do have a radio voice. What is weird? What is a Weird Al show like? I've never been to one, but I know he seems to have put together a live show that has become very popular. I know he played the Garden here in New York earlier this week, so
Sold out the Garden.
he's pulling in 15,000 seats. I mean, God
Yeah.
bless him.
They
What is
sold out
what
the
is
Man. That was 14,000 people last night.
God bless him. What does his show consist of? It's all song parodies, or there's skits. Like,
So,
what does he do?
this tour, it's primarily song parodies, although he does mix in some of his more popular originals as well. And it's a lot of multimedia. So there's a ton of outfit changes that go on because he changes outfits to go with whatever song he's doing next. So they'll be like they played clips from his movie. They played, clips from his time doing Al TV on MTV years ago. So like there'd be a couple songs and then you'd have like a video presentation while they change and he'd come out and do more. But I mean, he had the fat suit for Fat. He had, for White and Nerdy, he had the whole outfit with the Segway. For Eat It, he had the jacket. Like he had one part of the show where he did like 6 songs in a row and like people would literally just walk by him, pull off one costume and put another one on him. Like it's a the guy's 65. So I got to give him credit for being out there, in the heat for a couple hours doing this show.
Sure. And I mean, Jesus, I remember being an early teenager enjoying Weird Al. I forgot what album it was. I remember having it was on cassette. I remember it had a yellow label. That's all I remember. But it was just two sides of song parodies.
There you go. It was good.
Good for him. Good for him. And good for you for going. All joking aside, how much did you spend on concessions, would you say?
I mean, it's over $100 because we had some pizza and then we had a few rounds of drinks. But even again, It was beer and seltzer. It wasn't like mixed drinks or anything like that.
Yeah. That's just outrageous. The cost of leaving the house now is it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling, I tell you.
At least the parking was free. That's the one plus about the Man Center. Since it's in a public park.
Parking?
Well, it's in Fairmount Park, so you're basically parking, on public land.
Got it.
I mean, of course, you can pay for upgraded parking, but the roads are all shit around there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. There's no better parking than not.
Excellent. I don't think I've ever seen a show there. I try to avoid Philadelphia as much as possible. Ron.
Yes, my friend.
Ron, what is your story of the week?
So my story of the week this week, and this one is, you ever just see these stories and you're like, there's something wrong with people out there. So this would be one of those stories. So this is going out to, I want to say California, is it? Yeah. So this is a California bus stop. There was a gift shop there, and it led to police being called on a prankster who planted a teddy bear there that looked like it was made of bloody human tissue. So here is a photo on the left of the bus stop, and on the right, the teddy bear that it does. I mean, it looks like it's literally stitched together out of human flesh. This is it's in the Mojave Desert city of Victorville, about 85 miles northeast of downtown LA. And so people saw this. They were concerned. They called the police. Sheriff's deputies went out there, were able to determine that it was just a replica. It was not actual human flesh. And they ended up arresting the prankster that planted it there, a person by the name of Hector Corona Villanueva, age 23, was booked on suspicion of causing a needless emergency response and planting phony evidence.
That's a crime?
Apparently. I mean, I can see if something results in the police being called, I see that being a crime. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it is illegal to place something in a retail establishment that is not something they're selling.
But listen, if I were to bring that to your backyard and have it floating in your pool, and you walk over and you pick it up, and because I know you like to go through everything that's floating in your pool,
Yes.
if you were to pick it up and be like, "Oh, this isn't a real, teddy bear made out of human skin, stitched together," and just said, "Oh," and then just kind of like toss it onto the lawn behind the thing, there's no crime there. So the crime actually is when somebody calls the police.
Right.
Shouldn't the crime be
again,
the person that called 911?
Maybe so. You can certainly discuss that with your legal representation. But I feel it's, again, it's because the police would not have been called if this person didn't place this thing in a retail store that was not one that he operated.
Okay, listen, this is it's a crazy world we live in.
But apparently you can buy one of these yourselves. It actually came from a store in South Carolina called Dark Seed Creations. I wonder, he's got an Etsy store, so I'm going to see if I can find real quick how much this would have cost. Brian, how much would you say a teddy bear like this would cost you?
I'm going to say $85.
Wow, this guy has there's a lot on this website. I don't know that I can even find the teddy bear right now. Oof, I'm gonna have nightmares after looking at this. So I'm not seeing it on there right now. It might not be available, but so like you can get like a human skin lamp. That's $150. He's got some other bears that are $60. So I would say it's probably in the $65 to $70 range based on some of these other items that he has.
All right. Okay. I don't see the crime here. That doesn't mean that they've not created crimes to just punish people who decide that, life is just, it's a little bit better when you give somebody a chuckle.
I guess maybe the problem was there was no chuckles involved there.
This is shocking to me. I would have chuckled.
Brian, what's your story of the week this week, my friend?
Listen, my story takes us all the way down to Maury's Piers and Beachfront Water Parks in North Wildwood, New Jersey. Ron, I know that you love going down to a small beach town, enjoying the sights, the sounds, the smells. One of your biggest complaints is seagulls, correct?
I mean, it's nature. It's something you have to put up with, Brian. But yeah, they can be a little disarming. They can be antagonistic.
Well, a New Jersey man has had an altercation with the seagull, and somehow the police got involved. Do you have a photo of Franklin Ziegler?
I believe so.
Ooh, he looks guilty. And what is he guilty of? He is guilty of allegedly guilty. Allegedly. He decapitated a seagull that dared to steal a French fry from his daughter as they were walking down the boardwalk on Independence Day 2024. It appears he was just found guilty. So apparently the seagull was going out after him. Listen, when you're walking down a boardwalk holding a plate of fries, and the seagulls are going to come after you. They want it, but not in New Jersey. You do not steal French fries in New Jersey, because what happened was Ziegler ran after the seagull, grabbed it, and ripped its head off right in front of his child. So I hope that the courts will be paying for the future. So a little fly just came by. That will be paying for this poor child's therapy. After taking revenge, Ziegler then carried the dead seabird around the amusement park before asking the staff if they could provide him with a trash bag. Onlookers who spotted Ziegler's gruesome souvenir called the police. He allegedly became hostile. This man does not look like somebody that would become hostile when encountering police. He became hostile and was charged with animal cruelty and resisting arrest. During the investigation, according to the North Wildwood Police Department in a Facebook post, he became irate and uncooperative with officers. on an unrelated investigation, which resulted in his arrest for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. The Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918, Ron, always remember the laws. It makes it illegal to pursue, hunt, take, capture, kill, or sell seagulls and other migratory birds. So do not fuck with the seagulls in New Jersey. Otherwise, you may kill the seagull, but you will end up in jail, as Mr. Ziegler here learned. The Jersey Shore is just a wild place, Ron.
I gotta say, if in looking at this photo, if you had said to me, Ron, I would like you to draw a picture of what somebody at the Jersey Shore who would decapitate a seagull looks like, be pretty close to this. He's got the high hair, slick back, gold chains outside the white t-shirt, multiple bad tattoos, cargo shorts. Sure. I mean, he's really firing on all Jersey cylinders right there.
Listen, he I believe I saw him on the path last week, so he may be walking the streets. Jersey, all my Jersey people, be aware. Be aware. This man is in your midst.
Next up, Ryan, we got a story from the New York Times about breweries that are starting to ban children because parents do not make sure they behave themselves while there. The story starts off by mentioning a place called Forest City Brewery in Cleveland, where in September, they banned people under the age of 16 after what happened, according to the owner, was multiple incidents in which young children caused potential safety issues. Staff trying to serve tables and almost tripping over kids climbing trees, kids getting into the brewery section, breaking equipment. Brian, this has been something we've talked about quite often. Listen, it's one thing if parents can keep track of their kids, but it's like they look at these breweries like they're personal babysitters.
Listen, I mean, we have spoken about this multiple times. I know this has been a beef of the week for you. You do tend to go to several local breweries that are also family friendly. And you've paid the price for it by there being small children running around as if they're in a playground. Meanwhile, this is a place where grown adults put poison into their body in small doses so that they may feel some mild hallucinogenic effects. That's not a place for a child. What's most upsetting to me about this story, Ron, is that at one point do they reference you as the man who brought attention to this scourge that's been going around this country.
We never get the credit that we deserve, but that's all right. I would love to read this quote from a woman who actually held her baby shower at Fifth Hammer Brewing in Queens. But she mentioned that breweries were one of the first public places she brought her son after he was born. I'm going to read her quote, and it is so proving the point of the breweries in this quote. She says, "It's very scary going to a sit-down restaurant and making sure he doesn't cry, he doesn't scream, he doesn't throw things. There's less pressure at a brewery to make sure they behave perfectly." Why?
What?
You're still out in fucking public just because in your mind there's less reason to make sure your kid behaves at a brewery. Just absolutely proves why this is a problem.
That is wild.
There's a mention in here about Icarus Brewing in Brick Township. They implemented a 21 and older hours because in September, a toddler wandered beneath a fence and ended up in the brewery's parking lot. And then the kid's parents emailed him later with a complaint.
Unbelievable. Absolutely. And listen, Ron, I'm going to say this. There's a reason why you are the champion of this podcast. You are a man that sees, you see problems in our society. You call them out. You demand action. It is nice to see that the world has listened and breweries are starting to change their policies about children. It's no place for a child. People, leave your kids at home.
I
Or
mean, that's what
even better, leave them in your car. Roll up the windows all the way to the top, leave the kid in the car, check on it every, 30, 45 minutes. And then, make sure that it's doing okay.
Listen, I think you leave the car running, you put the air conditioning on, and you put some music on the radio, just like you would if there was, an animal in the car.
Put up a sign saying, "Don't do not be concerned.
Don't break the windows." He's got a
Yeah.
Capri Sun. He's got his stories. He's good to go.
God damn it. I love that. I love that story. It's just unbelievable to me that little kids are encouraged to go to breweries, and it's outrageous.
Next up, this is a story that I've seen quite a bit over the past week. Is about a summer associate at a Manhattan law firm, Sidley Austin, who apparently was fired after 2 months into her internship for repeatedly biting her coworkers. Now,
that's a bad look.
To be clear, it wasn't an aggressive bite, although some will argue that. She apparently, it was like a little pixie bite, as she would call herself. But apparently, she began doing it on day one, and it reached like 12 people that she had ended up biting in the office over the 2 months before they said, you know what, maybe it's best that we part ways right now.
I think so. I think that is a great idea. I think the workplace is not somewhere where you should be biting your coworkers. That should just not be taking place.
Apparently, one of her office mates started wearing long sleeve shirts to the office because this particular person kept getting bit by this individual. Yes.
Didn't we just do a story about the two castmates on Cobra Kai? Didn't the guy bite the woman?
Crease. Martin Cove.
He bit one of his coworkers.
That apparently was a violent bite compared to these being like little nibbles, I guess.
And apparently what he should have done was just refer to himself as a pixie afterwards and said, oh, these were just little bites.
She apparently also had gotten into trouble earlier because she was at dinner with a partner and other associates and ordered a $2,000 bottle of wine for the table, which apparently the partners told her was a poor judgment.
Ooh. God,
this is the thing. And the thing is, you have to imagine, like, this isn't like a dumb individual. Like you've gone through law school, you've passed the bar, you've gotten a summer internship at a high-end white shoe law firm in Manhattan, and you screw it up because you can't refrain from just randomly biting your coworkers.
Well, it seems as this does seem like somebody who just does not understand how to deal with other people.
It's sometimes people don't get boundaries.
No, I love a good boundary.
You do
love a good boundary. Yes.
Brian, this next story takes us I don't know if it takes us to Australia or if it involves an Australian man, but you love this story. I'd like you to tell us what was so good about this story you had to
listen. I love a good prank. We all know that I love it. I love an opportunity where we all can kind of just chuckle, where somebody can do something and there's really nobody truly harmed in the process. We go all the way to Australia, where we're at Kenmore Village Shopping Center. A man was arrested for stealing 53 right shoes from various shoe stores in the mall. Security footage shows the perpetrator pilfering Shoes Fashion, the store, for a remarkable amount of right shoes. They've got an incredible photo of him with what looks like a gigantic duffel bag that you would expect to see on a college sports team carrying equipment. Store owner Tamara Shorak said the July 7th theft was a real kick in the pants, losing $7,000 because she is unable to sell unpaired left shoes. 1 week after the bizarre looting incident took place, 51 of the missing shoes were mysteriously returned to the stores.
So he stole all 53 of these at once. Like,
yes.
I thought when I read that article, when I read the headline, I didn't read the article.
Sure.
My first thought was like, that's a lot of shoes. Clearly, he had to do this over a period of time.
No, did it in 1 day, came back, returned them. However, Australian police did track down an unidentified 49-year-old man from Mount Gravatt East who was arrested without incident. According to the report, he confessed to the police that he had no idea he stole only right shoes. Sounds like a lie. He faces charges associated with trespassing and theft. To me, this is just an innocent little prank. We all get a chuckle. He brings him back a week later. Nobody's there. No harm, no foul.
I would agree with you there. I mean, it's a victimless crime if you got the shoes back. I mean, maybe just fine the guy. How much should we fine him?
I don't know. I think
Janelle says 250. 250 Australian. I think that's fair.
But with the conversion rate, what is that American dollars? Oh, Janelle says $15. Oh, I didn't know that the dollar was so powerful in Australia.
Well, we're winning so much, Brian, that the dollar is incredibly strong right now.
Deals, making deals.
Speaking of winning, should we congratulate President Trump on his victory at the FIFA Cup? Because he apparently walked away with the statue that the winning team was supposed to receive, and they ended up going home with just a replica of the actual FIFA trophy.
Yes. Unbelievable. So the story here is that, they're really promoting the World Cup that's going to be taking place in America in 2026. This is considered a coup. Unfortunately, we're not getting a real government coup, but we're getting like this is a real prize in the sports world. Countries, continents fight for this every 4 years. Who is going to host the World Cup? I don't believe that the United States has hosted since, I believe, the mid 80s. I remember there was, I think it was like 86, possibly, the America had the World Cup. So we're getting it again.
Right.
So
and this is actually, it's unique because it's split between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico.
So it's kind of like the NAFTA World Cup.
I like that. Maybe you should try. Go hashtag that. Make it your own.
I like that. NAFTA Cup. So they bring so as part of the promotion, they're having some type of club contest that is taking place, a little tournament. Did very well attendance wise. I looked into tickets; they were like $300 here at MetLife Stadium. I did not go. I'm not making the kind of money that I can afford to go see Weird Al. How am I going to afford CONCACAF or whatever the tournament was? So they bring the club tour a championship trophy to the White House for a photo op, and Trump says, "Oh, you know what? I really like this. I'm going to keep this." So what you're looking at here is a replica that they had made in a literally within a couple days, because he insisted on keeping the original in the White House. Unbelievable. The level of privilege that this man has been able to, I want to say, just, like force upon the world. And it's only there because people are caving to him. FIFA didn't have the balls to say, no, you don't get to keep that. We're taking it with us. They're just like, oh, you want it? Well, here, have it. I just don't get it.
I mean, since we're on Trump, I guess we should talk about the cancellation of the Late Show with Stephen Colbert after 33 years. Obviously, Colbert had inherited the show from David Letterman, and it was announced that Paramount has decided to cancel the show, despite the fact that it is the highest rated late night show on all of the major networks right now. But it does also follow the settlement that Paramount did with the Trump administration. Trump had sued CBS and Paramount over a 60 Minutes interview that Kamala Harris had done and had been edited. Most people felt that it would be a slam dunk win for CBS once this went to court. CBS ended up settling out of court, Paramount did, I should say, and offering to donate $16 million to the Trump Presidential Library as part of that settlement, to which, Stephen Colbert on his show on Monday said, between that and the fact that, Paramount was trying to push through a merger that would be worth billions of dollars for the company, he called it basically a big fat bribe, which is really what it sounds like. And then, follow that up with Wednesday or Thursday, the announcement that he's not being fired. They're not replacing him with another host. They're literally taking the entire show off the air and will replace it with something else.
I'm going to say this. I'm not sure that I'm 100% in agreement with you in the sense of how outrageous this is. The truth of the matter is that this is a for-profit business. They just took a $16 million hit as a business, and from what I have read, they are losing money on these types of late night shows. CBS was just the first one to step up and say, these shows are not generating the type of revenue that necessitates us to continue doing this. The younger generation are not watching late night talk shows. They're not getting the level of buzz on social media. When was the last time I forwarded you a clip from the Colbert show?
Well, to be fair, he does not have any paraplegics or breastfeeding women on his show. So what would you forward to me then?
I haven't said, all joking aside, I have not sent you a breastfeeding video in a while.
I will say, I opened up my TikTok earlier and you had sent me 38 videos since the last time I had opened my TikTok. You need to get yourself some help.
You know what it is? And I will, and this is the truth. This is where it's at. And you're right. Absolutely. You could just tell I spent a lot of time on my phone this morning. It is that my algorithm has become so fine-tuned towards my tastes that almost everything is gold. In it it's just gold. And who's the one person I want to share it with? You, Ron. I want to share it with you. So I keep forwarding you these great videos because my algorithm has so narrowed down to exactly what I want.
But back to Stephen Colbert. So you think there's no possible connection between the settlement and Trump wanting these guys? Because Trump hates Colbert. He hates Kimmel. Sure. He hates Jimmy Fallon because they all make fun of him.
He hates anybody that it does not compliment him. He hates anybody that does not sit there and go out there to the public to talk about how amazing he is as a president. We get that. However, the truth, do I think that the elimination of the show is something to do with Colbert's stance on Trump? 100% it does. And at the same time, I also can't, have to comment on, their stance that, hey, these shows are losing money and we don't want to keep doing it. They have every right to do that. We have every right to not watch CBS ever again. Yeah, and I don't plan on it. You know why? What else does CBS have that I want to watch? I can't think of it.
Tracker?
Nope.
Fire Country?
No, absolutely
I don't
not.
even know if that's on CBS, to be honest with you.
I don't watch network TV anymore, so I really don't care what's going on. They could eliminate all the shows. Going on. You know what it is? I've got my lamp underneath my laptop stand, and this week I don't have my keyboard out here, so I'm just resting my hands on the table. You might notice I'm a little bit closer to the screen this week, and I'm just tapping my hand on. I like that. You should do that more often, Ron. Well, and I'm just tapping the lamp. I like it.
Next up, Brian, attorneys for Luigi Mangione, the man allegedly accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. His attorneys say that Manhattan prosecutors wrongfully obtained his medical records. Mangione's attorneys claimed that the Manhattan DA's office improperly compelled Aetna to turn over confidential information in violation of health privacy laws. Mangione's attorney, Karen Agnifilo, wrote in a letter to the judge, the DA falsely made up a court date of May 23rd, 2025, and drafted a fraudulent subpoena that if Aetna did not provide documents on that date, it would be in contempt of court. Apparently, Aetna sent additional materials in error. There has been a hearing requested on the matter, and Agnifilo is asking for sanctions against the district attorney and their office, even up into including dismissal of the charges, which I don't think will happen. But have you ever seen? Now again, Brian, we love Luigi. I don't think anyone would argue that.
Correct.
But have you ever seen what looked like should be a slam dunk conviction for a prosecution be mishandled so poorly by attorneys, by law enforcement, and by government officials?
Do you not believe that it is the deep state, who we know the deep state is not pro big insurance? Don't you think that the deep state is getting involved and working behind the scenes to make sure that this freedom fighter walks the streets without this case looming over his head one day in our near future?
Let's hope. Let's hope that Anonymous, the dark web, Jared from Subway, let's hope all of them are teaming up to free Luigi.
It just seems like everybody, for about 3 days there, everybody was sitting there completely enraptured by this story. They could not believe that a CEO of a healthcare company would be gunned down on the streets of Manhattan. And it seems like in the rush to arrest somebody, now he may have done it. I'm not saying I know this for a fact or not, but it does seem like there was such a rush to arrest someone so that the billionaires and that the elite could feel that they were safe, that this was not somebody, walking around shooting billionaires, that this was, that the law enforcement community was going to make a very quick statement to the American populace that don't fuck with our millionaires because we will come down on you. These people are protected. It just feels like in the rush, some mistakes were made.
There you go. Next up, Brian, out in Nassau County, a 61-year-old man died from injuries that he sustained when he was sucked into an MRI machine. The freak accident happened at Nassau County Open MRI in Westbury. He apparently entered. He wasn't the one getting the MRI. Apparently, it was a friend or a relative. He was accompanying someone else. He was told to stay out of the MRI room while it was running. He heard the person, whoever was getting the MRI, was apparently screaming in pain from having to be inside the MRI. He walked into the MRI room, defying orders to stay out, wearing a large metal chain around his neck. And you should not bring metal around an active MRI. Cause of death not revealed by officials, but many doctors have speculated that it could have been strangulation, asphyxiation, or even cervical spine injuries, depending on how he was pulled into the machine. Like, did you see the new Final Destination Bloodlines? No. So it shows you somebody ends up getting.
I think I watched one of those movies.
Somebody ends up getting pulled through an MRI machine because he was in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair, because it was magnetic, gets pulled through. But like, we've talked about MRI issues before. Like, God, that's got to be a brutal way to go, though.
I'm going to say this: as somebody who's had multiple MRIs, the staff make it very clear to you, at least the times that I've gone, anything metal has to be off your body. Rings, Apple watches, necklaces. Do you have any pacemakers, metal teeth, gold teeth? And I say, listen, I'm Jewish. All of my people's teeth were ripped out back in 1940s. There's no metal in our mouths anymore. But I don't understand how somebody could be wearing a heavy chain walking into the MRI room. It just seems like there was somebody dropped the ball. And I certainly hope that it is not going to be a lawsuit type of situation. I'm sure that the family of this
Well,
young
it's
man
always a lawsuit.
That's a shame. Such a shame.
Next up, Brian, Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas announced
Sure.
the opening of the first ever Uno Social Club. Everyone got excited at first because they thought that meant that you could gamble on Uno in Las Vegas casinos. But this is actually, just as it says, a social club where you can go, you can have drinks, you can play Uno. They are not on the casino floors directly. But you have to imagine if this Uno Social Club is popular, got to get to a point where you can put money on it.
Of course. And I imagine it's going to get to a point where we'll all, we'll have to fly out to Vegas so we can play Uno for money.
Have you ever had bigger fights in your life than you have over games of Uno?
Yes. The thing is, Uno, I feel like the only how do you argue in Uno other than people not playing correctly?
Well, but you get upset. Well, like if you're ready to win and someone drops, a reverse and then a skip and then a draw 2 and then a draw 4. My lovely lady was cursing me out the other day because she thought she was going to win a hand of Uno, and I crushed her, Brian. I dropped 6 cards in a row and went out.
But that happens. I think I've gotten angrier playing Monopoly than a game of Uno.
Really?
Thing about Uno, it's a fast-paced game. You lose the game, you just start another one, you play for 5-10 minutes, and then you start again and whatnot. Monopoly can take 4 or 5 hours. And it's you roll the dice, you land on Park Place. It's got a hotel on it, and you only have $200, and you're broke, and now you have to start liquidating all of your properties, and then you keep playing. Like Monopoly is one of those games where they almost ensure you never actually completely out of the game. They just make it very tough for you. It's
I don't
really
think I've ever finished a game of Monopoly in my life.
Yeah, that's why I think I've gotten more frustrated and angry playing Monopoly than Uno.
Fair enough. Brian, I'm surprised you missed this next story because anytime a story involves my my hometown, Schenectady, New York, I'm used to you hopping on it and being all over it. But this one you missed a little bit. So this is about a man. He stabbed his wife to death. Apparently felt bad about the murder. So he traveled across multiple states to murder his ex-wife because, quote, she, unlike his first victim, deserved it. So this is a mugshot for 38-year-old Timothy Taylor, who was living in North Carolina. For whatever reason, murdered his then wife, his current wife, and then traveled to Schenectady, New York, in upstate New York, checked into a hotel and snuck into the home of his ex-wife on the morning of May 28th, 2023, and then stabbed her to death, exited through a window, discarded his bloody clothing, and then took a taxi to the bus station and was arrested in a bar in Philadelphia.
Ooh. I mean, I want to be angry at him. I want to say you should not have done that. But
okay.
No, there is no but. He should not have done that. He should not have done that, for sure.
Well, he did, however, plead guilty to murder in the second degree a couple of weeks back, and is also facing a pending indictment for the murder of his current wife as well.
I think that's all for the best.
I mean, feels like a little mental health issue. I'm going to go on a limb there and say that.
You think?
Brian, quick question for you before we run out of time here.
Yeah.
What are you watching?
Oh, all right. So I watched a couple things this weekend that I think might pique your interest. Starting off on Netflix, I watched a 3-part documentary called "Where Is Amy Bradley?" Excuse me, Amy Bradley is missing.
Is missing.
Have you watched this? What were your
Yes.
thoughts? So this is a story of a family. Their parents, son, daughter go on a cruise that starts in Puerto Rico, then goes to Barbados, goes to Curacao, goes to somewhere else, St. Thomas,
Okay.
St. Lucia, St. Andrews.
Regardless,
Anyway,
there's a few stops, is what you're saying.
so one night, the daughter and the son, they're in their early 20s. They're dancing in the nightclub on the cruise ship. The girl is seen dancing with a member of the cruise band, which somehow this is seen as a key piece of information. She goes back to her room on the cruise ship where she's sharing with her parents and brother. She goes out onto the deck where she is seen at like 5 something
Right.
by her father. He turns around, goes back to sleep, wakes up 30 minutes later, and she is now missing from the room. Never to be seen again on the cruise ship. Just disappears. Several hours later, the ship docks per its schedule into the island of Barbados. People disembark as they would for their day trips. She's never seen from again. However, there are a frightening number of sightings that people have in those in the Caribbean islands of women that look just like her. They say they are her, and that she is somehow involved in drug trafficking. This story is about 20 years old. We have no idea where this woman is or what happened to her. Thoughts on it? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was well done. I mean, I think it definitely, raised a lot more questions than it answered. I don't think she fell or jumped from the ship. I do think she was taken off the ship based on what other people have said. The only thing I think I know for sure is that the cruise director seemed like a real a-hole.
Oh my God, yes. He did not care. He did not care that a woman went missing on his cruise ship. He was like, listen, cruise ships, we're on schedules. We're going to keep going. We'll just keep going.
Like he defended Royal Caribbean to the death. Well, just because this family can't come to terms with what happened to their daughter, they're going to disparage a company and that. Dude, read the fucking
Company
room.
Man. Company Man. That was very good. I also watched on HBO Max the Billy Joel documentary. This is part 1 called Billy Joel, and So It Goes. Utterly fascinating.
Okay.
I know that you and your wife are fans of Billy Joel. We went to go see him when he was doing his residency at Madison Square Garden. If you are into Billy Joel, this really is an exhaustive story. Childhood, early career. This episode really goes to the end of his first marriage. We're not even up to the Christy Brinkley or the 80s yet. We are still watching his career in the 70s. Just fascinating. I think it's over 2 hours, just the first part.
Wow.
I don't know when the second part in the series comes out. But definitely recommend it for you and the lady. Just as a fan of Billy Joel, somebody who knows his music, grew up listening to it, I think it absolutely is worth your time investment to just get a little bit more of a background into who Billy Joel was.
All right, will do. Anything else?
And yes, I'm still enjoying Smoke on Apple TV.
We caught up on all the episodes.
Good. It's
You
getting
watched
good.
the one that came out Friday night?
On Friday, of course. We watched it Friday night.
I'm kind of confused as to where they're going to take the story now because some of the stuff came out of left field. But I will tell you, probably one of the better new shows this year.
Yeah, definitely. The arsonist, the one who works in the fast food place. Just what a great actor! What a great character! Just you feel the simmering rage in this man, and who has a complete inability to interact with people. Just so uncomfortable speaking, making eye contact. Yet this guy is literally burning people alive in their homes. Such a good show. What are you
Yeah.
watching?
Watched most of that. Also watched the latest train wreck docu show on Balloon
Balloon
Boy.
Boy. Yes.
So I will say this. It's one of the few times that I kind of wish it was a longer show.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like they could have, in case you don't remember this is 2007, 2008,
Yep.
where this family was building like a homemade dirigible that looked like a UFO in their backyard. They fill it up with helium. It gets loose. They think their 6-year-old son is on it. And it gets picked up and worldwide people were worried about this. And then you find out the kid was asleep in an attic at home the whole time.
Sure.
I really wish they had taken a little deeper dive into what the actual story was, because,
Sure.
they talked to the family and the dad ended up, taking a plea for some charges, saying it was a hoax. But then, they get a pardon in 2020 from the governor of their state, which I didn't realize. Like, you really didn't hear a lot about it after the initial thing.
There was a pandemic going on in 2020. So I think
I'm
we all
saying
had
in 2007, you didn't hear a lot after the main part of it
Sure.
all died down.
Sure.
But I
It
still
definitely
feel like the dad still seems like shady as fuck. And I feel like they
100%.
could have done a deeper dive into the story. Like, it literally was one of those shows where everybody involved tells their story, but I don't think they really took the time to say who may have been telling the truth and what stories were correct and what weren't.
I think that's because, and this might be a spoiler alert, people. That's because I think everybody in the family is sticking to the story that we didn't know the little boy was sleeping in the attic. And so there's not a lot of meat to chew on. Had the wife spun and been like, "Oh, listen, we absolutely planned it," then suddenly you can have, a back and forth. But the family is sticking to their story. They're claiming they built this helium balloon that was supposed to take off. Suddenly it goes off. The video of the balloon going up in the air and the husband yelling at the family, "Why didn't you tie it down?" sounded so incredibly manufactured, unbelievable. At no point while watching that video did I say that seems genuine. The wife, under police interrogation, acknowledges it's a hoax. And then somehow, and even the police officer or the sheriff in his interview sits there and goes, she claims that she didn't understand what the word hoax was and that she had difficulties understanding the English language. The woman was Japanese. He says, "Oh no, but she got a degree in English here in America." So I don't understand where she's pulling this. "Oh, I don't speak English well" nonsense. But the whole family is like, "Oh yeah, no, we thought he was in there. There was no hoax here." The husband definitely seems like a shady asshole. He had been on Wife Swappers, and he really hammed it up on that show. People that you really are not rooting for. The whole family, you're not rooting for any of them.
So I would still check it out. It was an entertaining watch, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? Anything?
Let's get one more story in here. This is about a man who calls himself an influencer, but he only has a few hundred followers on Instagram and TikTok. He was recently attempting to travel out of the Atlanta International Airport on June 28th and was busted with nearly $3 million in drugs. This is a body cam footage of Vance Ray Randolph. He was getting ready to board a plane to Brazil when he was arrested with a little over 34 pounds of hashish, 12 pounds of THC wax, 5 pounds of marijuana, and 1.2 pounds of pasty marijuana, which I have no idea what that is, with an estimated street value of $2.97 million. He was charged with marijuana trafficking and was released on bail. In a way, guy's lucky he got caught before he got to Brazil, because you get arrested for this shit in Brazil, you'll never be heard from again.
Correct. You're in prison. You're in prison for a very long time. Well, I think we now have an idea how people are paying for these lavish lifestyles as influencers. Selling drugs.
How dumb do you have to be to think that you can get 50 pounds of narcotics on a commercial flight?
I have no concept. I mean, it just seems foolish to me.
You know what also seems foolish, Brian?
Don't do that, people.
We're going to segue in. What's also foolish is not being a subscriber to our Patreon. Because in 25 minutes, we're going to do our After Dark. We're going to do our saucy, sexy stories in 25 minutes. And if you are subscribing at the $10 level or higher, you can join us live. I mean, $5 and higher, you get the audio tomorrow. But listen, you want to be there live while we're doing this. You go to cultofronandbrian.com. You click in the upper right-hand corner and just sign up. It's easy peasy. We can get you the links in time to join us tonight for After Dark.
And the level of entertainment that you're going to get from our After Dark. I have I have access to the list that Ron has put together. He curates all of our After Darks. The stories we have lined up for this week are just incredible. I'm looking forward to it.
Outstanding. Well, then let's wrap up episode 363 and get ready for After Dark. Brian, anything else before we cut on out?
Nope. Let's do this.
All right. Thank you for joining us, folks.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of the Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.